What started as a random roadside cutting has now become this beautiful bushy Brazilian red cloak plant. And in this video, I'll show you how I found this plant, how I propagated the cuttings, the mealybug attack they faced, the soil mixes I used, and finally, how I transplanted them into this bigger pot. Few months back, I visited a horticulture exhibition. And from the main road till the exhibition building, there was a long walking stretch lined with these beautiful flowering shrubs. They were full of bright red blooms, extremely bushy, and impossible to ignore. I just couldn't stop looking at them while walking, and finally, temptation won. So yes, I quietly took few cuttings and brought them home. At that time, I had no idea what this plant was called, how it grows, or whether the cuttings would even survive. I simply thought, let's try growing it. After coming home, I immediately started working on the cuttings. First, I removed some of the top leaves to reduce water loss. Then I planted them in a simple, well-draining soil mix using garden soil, coco peat, compost, and little perlite. Honestly, at that time I had very low expectations. I wasn't even sure whether these cuttings would survive or completely dry out. So after planting, the most important part was proper cutting care. I kept the cuttings in a bright shaded area away from harsh direct sunlight. And since they were growing in small pots, the soil used to dry out very quickly. So regular watering became very important. Not overwatering, but maintaining consistent moisture helped the cuttings establish properly. Slowly, the leaves stayed healthy, and after some days, I finally started noticing new growth. That was the moment I got really excited, so I started researching more about this plant. And finally, I found out this is called the Brazilian Red Cloak plant. This is a tropical flowering shrub known for large green leaves, bright red bracts, and small white flowers hidden inside them. Actually, many people think the red part is the flower, but the real flowers are the small white ones. And once established, this plant becomes very bushy and looks absolutely stunning in gardens. Mealybug attack and recovery. Everything was going well initially. The cuttings had started growing nicely, and new leaves were appearing. But then, one day, I noticed something strange. Some leaves had started curling. At first I ignored it, but when I checked under the leaves closely, there they were, mealybugs, and not just one or two. One of the cuttings had a pretty heavy infestation. Now, for mature plants, mealybugs are already annoying, but for young cuttings, they can slow down growth very quickly. Then I checked the second cutting. From the top, it actually looked healthy, but when I inspected the top shoots carefully, I noticed small mealybugs there as well. That meant the infestation had already started spreading. So now I had two options: either treat them normally or remove the heavily infected portion completely. For the first cutting, the infestation was severe, so I decided to cut off the infected top portion entirely. After pruning, I washed the first cutting thoroughly. For the second cutting, the infestation was still minor, so I didn't cut anything there. I simply cleaned and washed it properly. Then, after observing the plants for a few days, I sprayed neem oil as a preventive treatment. Thankfully, both cuttings slowly recovered and started growing normally again. This experience taught me one important thing. Early detection is extremely important when dealing with mealybugs, especially on soft new growth and cuttings. And surprisingly, removing the infected top later turned out to be beneficial, because that cutting eventually became even more bushy. After some more growth, both cuttings became healthy and stable enough for transplanting. One thing I noticed at the exhibition was that these plants looked most beautiful when grown in clusters. So instead of planting them separately, I will be planting both together in one container. So now, let's start the transplanting process. This is the rectangular pot I selected for them. I had already filled this pot with soil a couple of days earlier because I knew I would be transplanting these two cuttings here. For this soil mix, I used around 50% garden soil, 20% compost, 20% cocoa peat, and 10% mixture of rice husk and perlite. This mix stays well draining while still holding enough moisture for healthy root growth. Now I'm making small holes in the soil for transplanting the cuttings. First, I gently tapped the bottom of the pot to remove the first cutting. I'm also removing the plastic mesh that I had initially used to prevent soil erosion. And you can see, the root growth is actually very healthy. The white roots are clearly visible, and the entire root ball is nicely developed. Most importantly, the root ball is fully intact, and I do not want to disturb it at all. Now I'm gently placing the root ball inside the hole without disturbing the roots and pressing the soil around it to make the cutting stable. Now same process for the second cutting. Here also, you can see a very healthy root system has developed. Again, I carefully removed the plastic mesh and gently placed the cutting into the soil. Then I pressed the soil around it properly and added some more soil around both plants to make them stable and sturdy. Now both the cuttings are successfully transplanted. Since it was a sunny day, I immediately shifted the pot to a shaded area, and that's where I watered the plants. For watering, I used a watering can instead of a strong water jet, because strong water flow can disturb the soil near young cuttings. A watering can gives a slow and gentle flow of water, which keeps the soil intact and avoids disturbing the roots. And now, all I can do is wait and watch. Now, after around 2 days, you can see the soil is still nicely moist because the pot was kept in shade. And thankfully, there are no signs of heat stress or transplant shock. The cuttings still look very healthy and sturdy. So now, it was just time to wait and observe. And this is after around 10 to 12 days of transplanting. You can clearly see fresh new growth appearing. The cuttings have also increased in height, and overall they look very healthy now. Next, I'm planning to do a little pruning or pinching once the plants become even more stable. And the interesting part is, I'll again use those pruned cuttings for propagation. So hopefully, these two plants will eventually give me many more plants in future. Now I'm just waiting for the beautiful flowers to appear on them, and I hope you enjoyed this complete plant journey. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support really motivates me to create more gardening videos. And also let me know in the comments, have you ever grown the Brazilian Red Cloak plant? Thanks for watching, and I truly appreciate your support.